Okay, let's try MP4. Don't think it's playing. Oh, oh, good. Oh, no sound. Oh, there it is. As you can hear, it's very soft. So let's try flash again. Let's see if we can get it going or not. Should be able to do flash. I mean, flash is not a difficult. And I think it's going to play it, is it? Yeah, okay, there goes flash. Some lag just now, but it got off. And of course you can hear it's quite soft. Now I'm trying Windows Media Video, or WMV. This is of course not a high def, this is a very low def source. Okay. Oops. As you can see, the controls are very tricky. You practically don't know what is going on. Yep, that's it. Now I've tried it with Matroska files, and it lags when it's playing 720p. So I'm not sure if you can play a 420p file on it or not. But I'm not going to put my hopes up. It refuses to play Windows QuickTimes file. So see, I'm testing the Acer D241H on the Metro 2033, and you know, as a gaming LCD, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of good contrast here. Sufficient amount of brightness on default settings. I haven't changed the brightness since I got the LCD, but of course the very reflective screen allows you to see yourself when you're playing. And you can see there's my hand, that's my leg, that's the stand which I'm using to put the camera on, and of course here's my camera. If you're 2 to 3 feet away, you don't really notice the reflections very much. But if you are sitting pretty further back, you know, about 5 or 6 feet, you tend to notice a lot of reflections. So it's not really a good idea to use the LCD as a real TV, so to speak. But I mean, for its purposes, I presume it's pretty okay. So I'm doing now a HD test with District 9 1080p, and I'm going to zoom in later and show you how sharp the image quality is. But first, let me just amp up the volume so you can take a listen. So this is maximum volume on the onboard speakers. The volume level is not too bad, especially since you're only going to be sitting 2 to 3 feet away from the LCD. So I presume that 100 is pretty appropriate. Now I'm going to zoom in and take a look at the picture quality. So now we're zoomed in a bit, and you can see how sharp the picture quality is on the D241H. So what do I think about the Acer 241H LCD? Well, it's a great LCD. I mean, it has a fantastic display panel. With 2 milliseconds, you know, you're playing any game, no matter what the frame rate is, it's not going to blur, it's not going to go, so that's not a problem. It's got a HDMI input, so that's not bad. It doesn't have a DVI input, but most cards nowadays have HDMI out, so it doesn't matter. It has VGA for that good old PCs you have lying around in the corner there. For TV watching, especially HD content, I think it's not that bad actually. I mean, I kind of like it, but I don't like a high gloss. Like, high gloss is pretty annoying if you sit pretty far back. It's something which I can't stand. Another thing I can't stand is the touch buttons here, and even more so because of this problem, this defect here, this bump here. As you can see, it's flat, and then it goes a bump here. So don't know if the courier did this, or is a heat damage from the panel, or it's just a defect, or whatever the case is. It's very hard to press the last button, which changes the display input connection. I wish they had that button on the remote, so I can just simply use the remote and press it instead of search it out from down there. Yeah, another thing is also, you know, these buttons, touch buttons here, are not labeled, so you don't know what is what. You have to read the manual, then you know what is what. This is not a simple plug and play system. You have to really read the manual to know what those buttons do. Another thing I didn't like is the USB port is not powered, so I couldn't use my 2.5 external hard drive and run some files off there. And the card reader is not really any point. The Wi-Fi hangs this widget OS because this widget OS is waiting for the Wi-Fi to connect, and if your Wi-Fi is not set up properly, you got problems with that. LAN, I don't think it's really a problem, but I haven't tried it out yet. Another thing I hated was the video widget, which seems to crash non-stop. It really can hang the whole system. You just don't know what to do after that. I mean, if you are not tech savvy or you don't have the patience, you'll be smashing this LCD to pieces. So, to sum it up, I would say if you were to buy this LCD just to watch HD movies off your dedicated HD player, which there's a lot of, like Popcorn Hour and HDX and some other stuff, or you were to use it as a monitor for your gaming or just general PC stuff, yeah, it's not bad, except for the high gloss screen. The third function, I mean, these are the two main primary functions. The third function, of course, is this widget interface, which allows you to kind of get your friend net up, you know, your friends network, your social networking, your emails and all that stuff. It lets you kind of correlate it onto, not correlate it on, but you know, to concentrate it onto one screen. I think that really needs a lot of work and a lot of debugging, but there it goes. So if Acer priced this decently, if it's not too high above the normal 24-inch LCDs, if it's just a little bit like $100 more, $100 more, or 300 ringgit more, I don't think it's much of a problem. I think people will still buy it, although I pity them if they do try this widget OS. So anyway, this is ig33ku signing off.